Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. I'm sure you heard the news yesterday, so we're just going to get it started. Terry Foster will be joining Big D Energy starting Monday. I believe, what is it, the 30th, I believe? The 29th?
Yes, 29th.
The 29th, yep. August 29th, he'll be on Big D Energy with Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Flannel Sam, and Spencer. I can't wait. I'm excited. I think that's going to be a great show. And of course, we do have to answer what the hell is going to happen in the morning. Well, I think some of you can kind of put it together. For those of you that can't, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to find out just like everybody else on probably Friday morning. You'll find out Friday morning. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. Terry will start again August 29th on a Monday. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great show. Ermani and Edwards, by the way. And no, I'm not saying that because we're changing their show name. They're going to get a rebrand as well. We're rebranding a few shows going into the season. I'm excited. Ethan Brown in the chat says Adam probably smells like anger. Honestly, Ethan, at this point, I wake up angry. It wouldn't surprise me.
You've done that for what, 9 years now?
What is it?
Have you done that for your whole life?
Yeah, for the most part, I'd say.
Okay.
Sleepwalker Trucker says this is an interesting angle. If you have a better one, let me know. If you have a better one, let me know. AJ says, when is Tony Dombrowski going to take Foster's spot? When I die. When I die. And I don't mean that. I don't mean that in a mean way, but sorry, not going to happen. I already have the perfect person in mind to do the show, and it's already committed. Everything's all set. We're doing all the work. It is going to be, in my opinion, the best show, and I can't wait for it. And you're not going to find out till Friday. So sorry, people. But no, I won't be solo for the rest of the week. Terry will be back in tomorrow. Everything will go and run as is. But with Maddie and Terry moving on, of course, we got to fill the desk. And I can't wait to fill it with a special person. I can't wait. But let's get the show started. Dan Campbell lets the players run practice yesterday, which I thought was actually really interesting. And not in a bad way. I think this is one of those morale moves. You know, coming off a win. Going in on Monday, everybody's feeling good. You know what? Let the players go out there. Let them take ownership. And, Taylor Decker, I believe, had a very interesting comment on this, where he said, I hadn't done it before. And then you start to realize, oh, wait. We're out there during the games on our own. And as much as the coaches want to yell, some of it gets to us, most of it doesn't. The stadiums are typically really loud. Communication is very difficult on the field. People don't really understand how difficult it can be at times. And having the players run a practice site, I'm game for it. I'm game for it. Why not? Again, this is just another little aspect of how Dan Campbell is. This is the tone he's setting. This is the culture he's trying to build. No, the players aren't going to run practice every week. No, they're not going to run shop for the rest of the year. It's not how it works, obviously. We don't need to be dramatic, but that's the reality moving forward. And I kind of like it. I don't know what you guys think. So, Westfall, if you don't mind, put a poll in the YouTube chat. I would like to know, did you have an issue with Dan Campbell letting the players run practice? Yes or no? I think most of you would say no. I think most of you, but unreal. I think it's great. I think it's good for morale. I have personally never had a practice where a coach let us run it, especially in high school. That was never a thing, but I think it works with professionals. These guys know what they're supposed to do. And like I said, Taylor Decker's comments were probably, I couldn't have summed it up better than how he did. That's what he is. That's Dan Campbell. And it was a very quiet practice, according to all the media members. Typically, super high communication levels, super loud. Coaches are screaming a lot of the time. And that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case yesterday. It was actually very quiet. They ended on a good 2-minute drill. And, it's actually something they've been working on a ton that I do want to touch on, which is their 2-minute drill. Their 2-minute drill has been one of their biggest point of emphasis and one of their pain points, really, throughout the entire preseason, throughout camp. How do we improve at the 2-minute warning? And I'm sure you're thinking, well, why do they have to practice it so much? Most games are decided by one possession in the NFL. Most games are decided on the final drive in the NFL. Lions fans, you should know better than anybody. How many times did you lose last season on the final drive? Or because you weren't able to execute on the final drive? The games were there last year. We all know it. We all saw the games where you lost by 3, 4, 5, 6 points. That's what matters in the NFL. And look, you can call me too optimistic. I'm high on this team for a reason. I do think what they have in terms of coaching could be something. I love Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is arguably one of my favorite coaches to walk in the door in my lifetime. I've never been more confident in a coach than I have been with Ben Johnson. I think he'll have that offense near the top 10 in the league in terms of NFL, or excuse me, in terms of efficiency in the NFL. And that wouldn't surprise me at all. They were one of, if not the worst third down team in the NFL, following up with an awful fourth down team. But they won't be in that many fourth down situations this year. I think they're just going to be much more effective. The ability to run the ball, I think Jared Goff is going to be a lot better than he was last season. I think down the stretch, what you saw out of Jared Goff was more indicative of what he will give you this season than what you saw early on in the year. So yeah, I'm feeling very, very confident, very optimistic. The poll so far in the chat, 90% of you don't have an issue with it. God bless. Thank you. We have reasonable people watching this morning. Because if you have a problem with a player run practice on a Monday after a preseason win, you should probably go see a life coach. Fish, how was your Monday?
It was great. Shocking, but it was great.
What'd you have for dinner yesterday? Chicken tenders?
No, so my dinner was technically Applebee's, and I had they got like some Cheeto stuff at Applebee's. I had Cheeto. What are they? Cheeto cheese bites, I think it was called.
That's sick, and not a good way.
It's basically just a Cheeto mozzarella stick, is what it is.
Fish, I don't know how you don't die from the stuff you eat. Could you close that door, by the way?
Sure.
I apologize.
There's also, and I probably should have got the Cheeto boneless wings too. I'll get that next time though.
Yeah,
I'm sure
you know
I'll be
what?
back.
I don't know. There's so much stuff going on social media. I've seen people cook a steak.
Yep.
And then break like an entire bag of Cheetos and put the steak in it.
Well, you know they've got ketchup, Doritos, and hot mustard Doritos.
Ketchup and mustard Doritos I can live with. I can accept that socially.
Okay.
I can't accept putting a steak in a bag of fucking Doritos or whatever the hell the guy did. That's ridiculous. But whatever.
It's about
Anyways.
the sweet and salty. Chocolate-covered pretzels, chocolate-covered strawberries.
No. Absolutely not. And by the way, I've had Applebee's once in my life.
Okay.
Hated it. Hated it. But I could just be a very picky eater. Who knows? Let's see. 8:15. We got a jam-packed show today, actually. We got Jeff coming up. Jeff Iafrate, 9 o'clock, joining the show. We have top 10 teams in college football preseason rankings. I'll be releasing the second official ranking on the network at 8:45. Jaden Ivey coming up in a little bit. What I made of the Russell Westbrook, Jaden Ivey whole social media facade yesterday. Yes, you think I'm ever going to do a show without talking about Russell Westbrook, especially related to the Detroit Pistons? Absolutely not. I will always do it. 9:29, we have Flannel Sam joining the show. I've been liking having Flannel every day, 9:29. I don't know what you guys think, but we're going to have some Michigan talk around 9:29. And then, of course, how could we forget Hard Knocks tonight? So we'll preview Hard Knocks, what to expect. I'm liking this a lot. I'm not sure where the Parcells tree is coming from for Motor City Dan Campbell, but that's technically not true. Parcells did give him his first internship, I believe, but his first job was under Sean Payton. So I guess you can really give both coaches credit for whatever Motor City Dan Campbell.
Hey, speaking of Lions.
What's up?
Yesterday, while I was at Applebee's, I went over the Lions' schedule. I have them getting 7 wins.
7 wins for the Lions?
Yeah.
You did that by yourself?
I did it by myself, yeah. I went
Nobody
through the
forced
schedule.
your hand?
Nope, nobody forced my hand. I'm just laughing because the guy I was with said 15-2.
Ah. Who's the guy you were with?
Jonathan Turner.
Jonathan Turner.
Yep.
Relation to you, family, relative, friend?
No.
Who is he?
I did a game with the Michigan Soccer Network.
Ah. So he's from the Michigan Soccer Network.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually serious, though.
Jonathan Turner, you
Yeah,
said?
I don't think he's actually serious,
Yeah,
though.
the problem with this country is people like Jonathan Turner.
But I posted on Twitter, I
Lions are winning
tagged
15
Ryan
games.
O'Mani, too, because I know he's part of that fan group.
Yeah,
So
drug addicts, buddy.
yeah,
That's what
I
we
wanted
call
them to
drug
know that
addicts.
they all suck and that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, look. Huggy Bear says, is it me or is Adam sounding more and more bullish on Jared Goff every show? I don't know, buddy. What do you think? What do you think? Russ isn't coming to Detroit? Yeah, no. God, no. I would die. I would actually rather die than Westbrook be a part of the Pistons. But I'm not going to spoil that. We'll take a quick break. When we get back, Jaden Ivey, Russell Westbrook stole the news last night on social media. Yeah, I'll give my thoughts. Yeah, I'll tell you what I think of Russell Westbrook. Yeah, I'll tell you what I think of Jaden Ivey. We'll get to all that and more in just a bit. But before we do, Fish, our good friends over at Big Boy.
Big Boy Ciabatta summer salad with hand-dipped shakes, all at Big Boy. Try the chicken club, chicken corn on blue, sunrise, ham and cheddar, all on the grilled ciabatta bread. Keep it alive, the Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, and the Greek salad. Don't forget to cool off with a nice hand-dipped cookies and cream. Ooh-wee shake with a strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
All month long at Big Frog, you can get yourself a lovely free t-shirt at lovely Woodward Sports. Go to bigfrog.com/Novi. All month long, stop in. They'll put you off a lovely shirt off their lovely printing presses, hand you it for free. Go to bigfrog.com/Novi to order online or get yourself a free t-shirt at Big Frog in Novi today.
All right, before we get into the Ivy Westbrook talk, I do want to answer a question. Where would I rank the Detroit GMs? Well, number one, I would say has to be Yzerman. Proven success. Everyone's on board with the direction the Wings are going. It has to be Yzerman. Second, I got to say Brad Holmes. I really do. I'm going to put Brad Holmes ahead of Troy Weaver, although I don't think it's a knock on Troy. I think he's doing a hell of a job so far, but in basketball, it's so different. You have to wait for your stars to develop. Really not going to turn it around right away in Detroit with the Pistons unless you go out and sign a superstar free agent, which we all know isn't going to happen. And then whoever the hell the Tigers end up hiring, I don't care. I don't want to talk about the Tigers. They're mad at me. I don't like them. That's the whole thing. Anyways, moving on. Jaden Ivey caught with Russell Westbrook on social media last night at the gym. I'm going to say something nice about Russell Westbrook. All right? So just prepare yourselves, because it's not going to last long. All right? Russell Westbrook, at his absolute best, was phenomenal in transition. Brought high energy, high work ethic, a relentlessness that we haven't really seen much, especially in today's game, with the modern quote-unquote NBA star. And he's a star. He is. So if Jaden Ivey were to take away from Russell Westbrook that explosiveness, that commitment to attacking the paint, attacking the basket, running the floor, I'm all for it. But guys, I have to be honest with you. I'm going to stand up for this one. You know, whether you're 15, 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, doesn't matter. I think we've all experienced a little bit of life to understand. Sometimes you learn things the hard way, and sometimes you're able to learn from somebody else's mistakes, right? It's easy to learn from your own mistakes. You made them, right? You can fully understand them, but I think where people really develop is by seeing other people's mistakes and not making those mistakes ahead of time. And that's my takeaway from the Westbrook-Ivey thing. I would pray to God that Jaden Ivey learns from Russell Westbrook on what not to do as an emerging star in the NBA. If Ivey is everything as advertised, hyper-athletic, star talent, all-star player in 3-4 years, all of it comes to fruition, I hope to God he's developed a three-point shot. I hope to God he has at least a respectable mid-range game. And I pray to God he can hit free throws. Because Russell Westbrook can't do any of that. Oh, should I also mention playing defense? That'd be a nice thing to do. You don't need to be one of the better defenders in the league, but could you at least defend? Because Russell Westbrook can't do that. That's for sure. So you tell me, do I want Ivey average triple doubles? No. Like, we all know the Russell Westbrook fanboys that wanted him in Detroit. To all of you, fuck you. You know who you are. Like, the idea that it's okay to bring a Russell Westbrook here when you had Cade as a rookie is laughable to me. You have Jaden Ivey. You have Cade Cunningham. And the last thing you want to teach these two young kids, the last thing you want to teach them is to play basketball the way Russell Westbrook plays. You can point to his MVP season, the triple doubles, his competitiveness. I don't give a damn. I don't. He's a useless player in today's NBA. He did not evolve with the times. Something I think LeBron doesn't get enough credit for is he saw where the league was going. It was becoming a three-point league, and like a great player does, he evolves, he adapts, and he develops a respectable three-point shot. Where was Russell Westbrook? He ever done that? Nope. Has he ever cut down on turnovers? Excuse me? Nope. Not interested. So if Jaden Ivey takes anything away from Russell Westbrook, it's what not to be in the NBA. It's what not to be as a star player. It's what not to be as a star player on a contending team. How has it worked out in LA? It won't. How did it work out in Houston? It didn't. They became a less efficient team on offense, a less efficient team on defense. You guys tell me. The last person I'm going to rely on to give Jaden Ivey advice is Russell Westbrook. And no, I'm not interested in having quote-unquote, well, if Jaden Ivey had Russell Westbrook's career, would you be happy? No, I wouldn't. A selfish individual who doesn't play for the team, only cares about his box score, plays hard, doesn't translate to winning. You want to win at the end of the day. You think for all the love Portland fans have for Damian Lillard, all the love, you don't think they're disappointed that they never got anything out of it? Not even an NBA Finals appearance? You think if Giannis doesn't get to the finals and beats the Suns, you think they're still happy with Giannis being a dominant player in the NBA, defensive player of the year, two-time MVP? You think they care? They want to win. Could you ever win with Russell Westbrook? Hell no. Hell no. It's a proven concept in the league. And I hope to God Jaden Ivey takes a step back and says, you know what? There's a lot I can take from him, for sure. There's a lot I can take from there. But also, there's more I can take on what not to do. Jamarcus Russell is an example for every quarterback on what not to do when you enter the league. He's the perfect example of what not to do. I think Russell Westbrook is the perfect example of what not to be as an NBA superstar. And even prior to him, it's not like he's the first. You had Melo. Melo was very late to adopt the new NBA. Melo was very late to adopt a quote-unquote team role. Come on. Come on. We're past this. No Russell Westbrook to Detroit. Whoever even suggested that on Twitter last night, I hope you burn in hell. I don't know who you are, but there's a special place in hell for people like you. The triple-double king. You know what I saw last night? I saw two players side by side. To the left, Jaden Ivey. To the right, Russell Westbrook. To the left, you had a young, emerging prospect, a young talent, whose future is very bright. And on the right-hand side, you had a top 700 player in the NBA. Just a scrub. And I think he's a scrub. And I know you don't like him. I know you think it's disrespectful. Oh well. I don't like it. I don't like the way he plays. I don't think it translates into winning. And last I checked, NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, hell, even soccer, hell, even cricket. Last I checked, you guys can confirm this for me. Isn't the most important thing about, I don't know, winning? You think Utah Jazz fans aren't happy that they had Stockton and Malone and wound up with 0 titles? Hell, Hakeem Olajuwon at least won 2 during that era. David Robinson and the Spurs. Shaq and the Lakers. Isaiah and the Pistons. All in that 11, 12-year stretch. You don't think Utah were like, well, we wasted that opportunity. Come on. Come on. It's about winning. Right now, if Giannis doesn't have a finals MVP and a finals win, hell, even a finals appearance, the conversation is just another regular season guy that can't get it done in the playoffs. And what did Giannis do that Russell in his career could never do? He put the team on his back and was the absolute bona fide number one who was able to make everybody around him better and lead his team to success. And not just winning in the regular season. I'm talking winning in the playoffs, getting to the finals, winning the finals. What, do you forget the block Giannis had in the NBA Finals against DeAndre Ayton and the Suns? How quickly we forget and how much we love box scores. Makes no sense to me. The obsession with the triple-double has to be one of the most overrated, egregious things ever. Hell, it has people already like Nick Wright putting Luka Doncic in his top 20 NBA players of all time. You kidding me? You kidding me? I love Luka. Generational talent. He's going to be phenomenal. He's already a superstar. Got his team to the Western Conference Final last year with relatively average help. Okay? Okay? When are you going to join forces with somebody? I don't know. When is Dallas going to surround him with what he needs? But then label him a top 20 player of all time already is pathetic. And you know what? You guys aren't going to like this, but I don't think James Harden and I don't think Russell Westbrook should be in the NBA top 75. I don't care that they've won MVPs. I don't. I think there's players more deserving. I think there's players who have accomplished more, not only individually, but also on a team level. Noted Ben Wallace. For Ben Wallace not to be a top 75 player in the NBA, where he was arguably one of the most dominant defenders for a 40-year period we've ever seen in NBA history. For that to happen, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? We love the flash. We love all these players. Well, in today's NBA, you know, they're faster, they're strong. Yeah, they are. They are. That's today's NBA. Sorry, I can't insert Zach LaVine or Russell Westbrook in 1940. That's not a thing. And until time travel is a thing, excuse me, not going to happen. So do me a favor. Stop comparing the eras. Stop making excuses for the guys in today's eras that aren't getting it done, that are selfish, that are getting paid more than anybody had ever gotten paid prior. And, oh, well, you know, he gets triple doubles. He's phenomenal. Aren't you guys awesome this morning? All I care about is that Jaden Ivey walks away from his conversations with Russell Westbrook saying, you know what? I hope my career doesn't amount to that. Because I'd be very disappointed. For all that talent, all that drive, all the work ethic, all the hustle that Russell Westbrook does have, those are qualities, absolute qualities. For all the All-Star appearances, the MVP, for all of that, you peaked year 3 or 4 with Oklahoma City, where you were at your most efficient and at your best as a scorer, in my opinion. And KD left. James Harden left. They wouldn't work with you a second time. James Harden and the Rockets got worse with you the second time. It didn't work with Paul George. It didn't work with LeBron freaking James, arguably a top 2 player of all time. It'll never work. It never works with these type of people. And I hope Jaden Ivey is nothing like Russell Westbrook. When we get back, ahead of episode 3 of Hard Knocks tonight, coming up, what is it, 10 o'clock tonight? I'm excited. Always excited for Hard Knocks. 10 o'clock, Hard Knocks tonight. Should be fun. Obviously, we're streaming after. 11 o'clock, we'll be live on YouTube with Stick, Anson, and the crew. Should be very fun. But before we go, Fish, I need you to tell us about our good friends over at the Academy of Warren.
Sure thing. The Academy of Warren, brand new state-of-the-art sports dome fieldhouse that has a regulation-sized basketball court, volleyball court, and a soccer field. Could also be used for good old 7-on-7 football. Kindergarten through 8th that features AM PM latch fee, small classroom size, learning suite, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, academy games, and K through 8 athletics. Enroll today at academyofwarren.net.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network, 8:29 on a beautiful Tuesday morning. Hey, Westfall, I got a question for you.
What?
Are we golfing Saturday?
Yeah.
You're not going to flake out like you did this past weekend, right? You're not going to let me down?
No.
Okay, but do you blame him for taking a job? Like,
Yeah, I am.
those are once-in-a-lifetime chances.
Once in a lifetime chance?
Well,
Was it?
once
Westfall?
a year at least.
I mean, it was the Junior League World Series. I had to work.
Yeah, the one at Taylor, Michigan, you probably don't know what that is.
For Little League?
Yeah.
I mean, similar, it's junior.
The
Wow.
only difference is it's a little bit older
Yeah.
kids than the Little League World Series. But it's pretty much the same thing.
Did you enjoy it?
It was good.
All right, I guess we can accept that. So the goal is you, Fish,
Yeah.
myself, Neil Rule.
Did you ask New Rule?
We're going to get Stick out there, yeah.
Okay.
Neil's in.
Okay.
Neil's in. So we got 4 golfers right there. Stick isn't going to golf because he broke his hand.
Yeah.
But he'll be there to drink. We'll get Michael Gentry, that's 5. And I'll probably snag Justin.
Didn't
and we'll
Maddie
make it
say
6.
she was interested?
We'll have 2 threesomes. Huh?
Didn't Maddie say she was in?
Maddie can't golf. Like, I'm sorry. She can't golf for her life.
Okay, but then bring her a Sticks drinking buddy
Yeah,
then.
they can drink together. I don't care. They do whatever they want. They're not golfing. I can't stand people that tell me they golf and then show up to the course and hit 15 yards at a time. Left, right, backwards.
I don't think
Shit
any of the
drives
shots
me
were
nuts.
backwards.
Drives me nuts.
I mean, I guess they're golfing, right?
Hmm?
They are
I mean, they're
golfing.
technically golfing, right?
Yeah.
I hate you.
I don't blame you.
Oh, God.
I get what you're saying.
Dude, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. And you feel like an ass to the people behind you.
Yep.
Then it messes up your game. And you're like, well, I got to hurry up now because, like, we're taking forever. Oh, I hate it.
Oh, we
I
doing
hate
a
it.
morning golf, like early morning?
What is it?
We doing early golf?
I'm a morning golfer. Yeah.
Okay.
I like 7:30 tee times.
Okay.
Hell, I've done a 6:46 tee time.
We could do
before.
another one of those.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of early mornings. But let's get into it. The biggest takeaway so far from the first 2 episodes of Hard Knocks. You know, this isn't a controversy to me, but I think it's interesting is how we've seen nothing of Ben Johnson or Jared Goff. I find that interesting. I do. That was so far one of my bigger takeaways. And looking at the lead up going into the Colts game, which a lot of the footage will be from, along obviously with the game, that surprises me. They did a good job in the first episode setting the tone, right? Getting everybody excited. You introduced all the players, all the coaches, especially the former player coaches who are now on staff. That was good. Love the Aaron Glenn, Deuce Staley, the animosity, going at it back and forth, that energy, love it. Cool. Episode 2, frankly, I was disappointed. I was expecting a better follow-up to episode 1. Episode 1 gave you Billie Jean, it gave you Malcolm Rodriguez, it gave you so many moments. And episode 2 was kind of, well, it was just an episode. And I didn't really learn much about the team. I already knew about Aiden Hutchinson's family. I already knew about Aiden Hutchinson. I didn't really learn anything new about some of the players that may be on the bubble for getting cut. And I think I have to be responsible and say it is a television show. It is made for entertainment, more so than it is for a Lions fan or a consumer who wants to see the true behind the scenes. Juicy J in the chat says maybe Ben Johnson doesn't joke around. You know what? That was one of my takeaways too. It's tough to put a guy like Ben Johnson on camera too, because at all points he's communicating what? Your playbook. He's calling the offense at all times. He's not sitting there motivating his team. He's sitting there getting them aligned correctly, making sure they understand what's going on, and then calling the plays. So it's kind of hard, I get it, to at least get him, but to not pull him on the side for 30 seconds to a minute and say, hey, Ben, what'd you think of practice today? How do you think of the offense? How was the 2-minute drill? I'm surprised we haven't gotten that. That's what I'd like to see tonight. So not enough Ben Johnson, Jared Goff for me so far. Not even mentioning Jared Goff's story, I think was interesting. So those were 2 things I don't want to say I was disappointed with, but yeah, you know what? I had a little more expectation for episode 2. But also a bigger takeaway on a positive note is Malcolm Rodriguez. He's standing out. He's there. He's hitting everybody. Center of attention. He'll probably get the starting linebacker position. And my question to all of you this morning, and Westfall, please, when you get a chance, get it up. The question this morning is, are you concerned that Malcolm is night and day better than everybody in the linebacking room? Because on one hand, you're very happy that a 6th-round rookie is coming in and playing good enough to get a starting role. The downside is, how bad do your linebackers have to be that a 6th-round pick can just walk in and do basically just fundamental play, fundamental tackling? Nothing like out of the ordinary special talent, Micah Parsons level, nothing. You've seen none of that from Malcolm Rodriguez. He's just been good enough, and apparently good enough is significantly better than what you have outside of Alex Anzalone, and that's concerning. Derek Barnes, what have you done all year? You showed some promise in the preseason last year. Feeling good about you as a rookie. You get your opportunities throughout the season and you don't do much. You have the entire offseason, and what do? Nothing. Nothing. God. Nothing. That frustrates me. But that's the question this morning. Are you concerned or not that Malcolm Rodriguez is able to start on this team at that position day one as a 6th-round draft pick? By the way, they better cut Jared Davis. I'm not joking. I want to see Hard Knocks film it. And I'm telling you right now, this is exactly how it has to go, or I am going to riot. This is exactly what needs to happen. I want Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to bring Jared Davis into the room. Hey, Jared, have a seat, bud. What's up, coach? Jared, you know, a few years ago, you left Detroit. And to be honest, you were arguably one of the worst linebackers we've ever seen here. And you took some time away. You went to the Jets, I believe. You toured around the NFL, struggled with some injuries. You came back here, and you've really surprised us with your tenacity, with your work ethic, with your drive, with the attitude, with the mindset that you had to be not only the worst linebacker before, but to come back and reclaim your throne as the worst linebacker on this team. Having said that, you're cut. Get the fuck out of here. Adham will pack your bags. He'll drive you to the airport. That's how I want him to get cut. Jeez. Jake Wagner says, I'm happy with Rodrigo. Reality is we rarely have ever had competent linebackers, and that goes back much further than this regime. So it's nice to have a guy who looks like he knows what he's doing. Interesting. What other questions do we have or comments? Rodrigo is a beast. I'll take a kid that has heart and grind over the love of the game over any vet. Yeah, Hollywood, that's not how the NFL works, dude. It's called talent. Has Malcolm Rodriguez shown flashes of hyper talent? Not really. But he's played really hard. And he's done a damn good job at filling the gaps. And he's hit people. Like, I'm all for it. I think he should start, given how bad everybody else is. But my question to you guys is it concerning that he can walk in and basically just do the very, very bare minimum? I'm not taking credit away from him, but he's just doing what you're supposed to do at linebacker, and that is significantly better than anything else you have outside of Anzalone. None of you are concerned with that? That's not a knock on Malcolm. That's a knock on the linebacking core. That's kind of where I'm getting at with this. Thoughts? That's where my head's at this morning. 59% of you in the chat so far on YouTube say yes, you are concerned, that Malcolm Rodriguez is significantly better than the rest of the linebackers. Yeah, that's my feeling. That's my gut feeling is he is a rookie. He is going to make mistakes. But he is better than what you have. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. Funky Fan sums it up perfectly. He says, we all knew the linebacking room was trash. Alex and Malcolm might actually be good together. Now, I agree, and I think that's your best option. Jared Davis isn't getting cut, but he won't start either. He better get cut. I would take Fish. Fish, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
I would take Fish. I would take Fish at linebacker.
At linebacker?
Yeah, I would take you at linebacker.
Oh, I know why.
Over Jared Davis.
You've been wanting to do harm to me for the longest time.
What is it?
You've been wanting to do harm to me for the longest time, so that makes sense.
I think, you know what? I think you and Jared Davis really would perform at the same
You're
level.
going to say, oh, we're playing the Rams? Put him up against Aaron Donald. He'll do great.
Yeah.
Get flattened from the first. He doesn't even have to touch me. Boop, and then I go to the ground and break my neck or something.
And this is from Prague in YouTube chat.
Oh.
Concern to me means you're surprised. No one should be surprised. I don't know. Surprised how, right? Brad Holmes has already hit on a late round pick in Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I guess if you use that argument, maybe you're right. I can't argue that. But Frank Daniel says a 6th round draft pick cannot be your best linebacker. God help us. See, I am more on the side of that than I am, well, Malcolm Rodriguez is just an absolute stud. I think he's much better than what you have. But that's not saying much. So I do want people to really take that with some caution here. I'm not saying he won't develop into a good player, a very good player, who knows? But this is very indicative. It's an indictment on your linebacking core, because it is pathetic. Barnes is slowly looking more and more like Jared Davis 2.0. Yeah. Barnes, look, I can live with rookies and second-year guys struggling along the way, but you have to show improvement. What was my whole motto last year before the Lions ever played a game? For those of you that remember, all I cared about going into the season was one thing. I didn't care about wins. I didn't care about anything. There was one fundamental thing I wanted, and that was player development. That's all I wanted. And you saw it with St. Brown. You saw it with Sewell. You saw it in flashes with your defensive linemen, but not really. But still, player development is everything. And they showed they could develop players. You saw Jerry Jacobs, undrafted free agent, come in and give you reps. Amani Oruwariye stepped up. You had good moments, player development. I love that. Did I love the late game 2-minute warning? Some of these fourth down decisions from Dan Campbell? No, I didn't. I did not. Some of them were really questionable. Some weren't. But when you show that you can develop players, that is everything. And I'm sorry. I know last season doesn't matter at all. But when you lose, or excuse me, when you can win 6 more games last year just by scoring 20 points or more, guys, they did what they could with a below-average roster. Can't slate them for that. Can I slate them for starting 0-10-1? Yeah, I can. That's pathetic. No team should start 0-10-1. That's pathetic. No team should lose the games the way they were losing games early on in the year. That's pathetic. But they improved. They improved. The Anthony Lynn decision. Improvement. Major improvement on the offense. I can look past the record when you give me context to work with. Let's date back to week 12 last year. 0-10-1. Before your first ever win against Minnesota. 0-10-1. What's the context there? The offense was still struggling. They never really picked it up yet. It was really from Minnesota onwards they stepped up. The context was they sucked. And they looked like they would have won a game. And then at the end of the year, you sit back and say, whoa, Jared Goff in his last 4 starts, top 5 in the NFL, I believe, in passer rating. Completion percentage. Oh. Efficient offense. Oh. More scoring. Trick plays. Home run plays. The run game got better. Offense got more efficient. 7th in NFL efficiency on offense down the stretch last year. I'll take it. If I can stand here or sit here every morning and criticize a team, I can stand up or sit and say, well, these are 3, 4, 5, 6 things that they did do, they did accomplish, that give me confidence, that give me, I would say, more optimism going into the year. That's the reality. That's the reality of this football team. When we get back, my top 10 teams in college football preseason rankings. I'm excited. USC, where'd I put them? Did they even make the list? They didn't make the list the first time. Michigan moved up a few spots. So whether or not they're a top 5 team, you have to remember where I put them last time. Where Notre Dame falls. A new number 1. A new number 1 in the country now. That'll be fun. We'll get to all that and more in just a bit. But before we do, I got to tell you about the official studio sponsor of the Woodward Sports Network, and that is Planet Fitness, your home of a judgment-free zone. Get to a Planet Fitness near you to start your fitness journey today. $0 down, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. Visit any Planet Fitness membership, or visit any Planet Fitness near you, or sign up for a membership at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Okay, our good friends at Alta. Uptime Matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up. Labor Day is coming up, which means winter is coming up. So maybe you want to renovate your house. Alta Rents has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. 8:47, a beautiful Tuesday morning. Top of the hour, we got Jeff Iafrate joining us for a nice conversation. 9:29, we got Flannel Sam to talk some Michigan. But I love putting out top 10s. And there's not a top 10 I enjoy more than the college football top 10 going into the season. And there's this very specific reason for it, because I like to take the approach of projecting where I believe they should and will be, along with respecting what they did last year, right? Because it is preseason, right? The only thing you can go off going into the season is their off-season recruiting, which technically happened the years prior, and then, of course, what they did last year. Players they lost, coaches they lost, they added, transfers, whatever it may be. So we'll start with our top 10 list. And number 10, making their first appearance on the top 10 list is, of course, Caleb Williams, Lincoln Riley, and USC. USC had to be in the top 10 for me. It really is not even a debate at this point. I just think this team has everything in them to be a top 10 team at the end of the year. They're going to be a 10-win team. I see them finishing 10-2 on the year. There's a team above them 4 spots that I think is legit. I think could make a case for a college football playoff appearance this year, and that's Utah. But let's go in order. Number 9, Baylor. I'm a big fan of how Baylor ended their season last year. I think the coach is doing a hell of a job of building that program. We saw what Matt Rule did there. They've really progressed and kept going from that point on. I think Baylor definitely a top 10 team this year. Texas A&M, what the hell do I do with all that talent? What do I do with all that talent? And what the hell do I do with Jimbo Fisher? Hell of a coach, national championship winning coach. When are they going to do something at A&M? When are they going to accomplish something at A&M? That's my question. So A&M at 8, I think, is only fair. Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame going in their first year under their head coach for the first time. Notre Dame, I think, has had a good offseason. They're recruiting very well, NIL very well. I think their roster, I don't say it got significantly better, but I don't think it got significantly worse either. I actually think they'll be a much more disciplined team than they were last season under Brian Kelly. Number 6, making their first top 6 appearance, is Utah. I'm a big fan of Utah, man. Love the way they played Ohio State in the Rose Bowl last year. I thought Utah really ended the season on a high note outside of the loss. They were a team that's been trending up, and to be honest with you, if you go back the last 6-7 years, Utah was like one loss away multiple times. One loss that cost them a college football playoff appearance. Like, they're building something at Utah. They're doing a hell of a job. And now the fun begins. Michigan is a top 5 team. They are. I had them out of the top 5. I believe I had them at 6 the first time I did this. And they're a top 5 team to me. My biggest concern with Michigan isn't even the defense and the players that they will have this year. It's not the amazing offensive variety of talent they have. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Andrell Anthony, Ronnie Bell, Eric All, and that offensive line. The talent is there. My concern with Michigan is we had screamed for years, get rid of Don Brown. You got rid of him. And the guy that came and gave you arguably Michigan's greatest defensive season ever since really their Rose Bowl win, or hell, I could argue 97. And why I bring that up is McDonald's no longer here. Mike McDonald's no longer here. Josh Gaddis no longer here. And to replace an OC and a defensive coordinator, I find very difficult. Although that offense, again, I think is going to be explosive this season. But what do I get out of that defense? And are you able to get 15 quarterback pressures against Ohio State this year as a team, let alone from one individual? I find that difficult to believe. I find it difficult. Michigan comes in at number 5. I think they're a team that should be able to run their table up until the Ohio State game. I believe even if they have one loss going into the Ohio State game, that's acceptable. Knowing that if they win that game, they will be in. It's that simple. It's in their hands at that point. So really, they can only afford one loss up until Ohio State. Michigan, for me, top 5 team this year. For everybody that's a Spartan, where does your team fall? I have Michigan State between 13 and 17. If I were to put a number on it, I'd say 15. I'd put Michigan State preseason ranking probably 15. I think that's fair. I do. Number 4, Clemson, a team that I think probably is one of my favorite picks to lock in a position for the college football playoff. I don't see anybody giving them trouble this year. Yeah, they play Notre Dame, but Clemson is that team. I do think they have a unique situation at quarterback. Will Dabble pull the trigger? Who knows? But they've got some talent at Clemson. Talent is not the issue this year. For a team that had a quote-unquote down season, they won 10 games last year. Watch out for Clemson this year. Number 3, the defending national champion, Georgia. And my issue with Georgia isn't really I have an issue with them. I don't have an issue with Georgia at all. They lost a ton of talent to the draft. Yes, they did, absolutely. But they also have an abundance of talent. And Kirby Smart finally got the monkey off his back and beat Nick Saban. And one of the things we have to remember is Georgia could very well run their table up until the Bama game. Up until the title game, maybe. Who knows? But at the end of the season, I think we're all having a conversation about college football playoff. If you have 2 one-loss teams or one one-loss team and one undefeated, you're probably getting 2 SEC teams, 100%. Another team I expect to get to the college football playoff, that's Ohio State. I don't know how anybody beats Ohio State this year. I don't. I really don't. The one thing that you can convince me that will let down Ohio State, not only in the Big Ten, but in a college football playoff setting, would be their offensive line, their defensive line. Do they have the physicality to match up with Bama, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan, Utah? Do they? And we'll be asking probably that same question about Lincoln Riley and USC going into year 2, year 3. Do they have the physicality in the trenches to win those type of football games? Because not all the games are going to be pretty. And Ohio State learned last year up in Ann Arbor that game wasn't going to be pretty. And they didn't have an answer for Michigan. And Michigan whacked them in the second half. They absolutely whacked them. They ran all over Ohio State. They wore them down. And it was only a matter of time before Michigan won that game. That, you can convince me, will be the downfall of Ohio State. And it's actually why I'm not very confident what Ryan Day is doing. What did Urban Meyer do so well that and Michigan fans, let's be honest here, what did Urban Meyer have that absolutely destroyed your football team every year? They were more physical than you. You claim to be the physical team. Remember all the good years? Remember this, guys? We're the more physical defensive front. We have a better offensive line. We're going to fight them in the trenches. They beat you in the trenches. Urban Meyer didn't play those games. Could you argue that Ryan Day's teams are more spectacular, better in terms of talent? Maybe, yeah. But boy, defense matters. Boy, winning in the trenches matters, especially late in the year. And that will always be true. That will always be true, and that's why Georgia manhandled Michigan the way they did. They won in the trenches. So if Georgia last year manhandled Michigan, what the hell would they do against Ohio State? That's my one concern with Ohio State, but they just have an abundance of talent. You can't ignore the wide receiver positions. You can't ignore the running back. You can't ignore the quarterback. You just can't. Number one, of course, Alabama. How much you want to weigh this is up to you. But when Nick Saban says, you know what, last year was a rebuilding year, and those jackasses got to a college football playoff and a college football national title game, I want to rebuild every year. Give me a rebuild every year. Thanks, Nick. Way to make everybody else in college football feel great about themselves. Yeah, you know what? It was last year it was Bryce Young, Heisman winner, won the SEC championship, lost in the final. Yeah, you know, it was a rebuild year for us. God damn it, Nick. Watch out for Bama. Watch out for Bama this season. So that's my top 10. I'll go over it one more time. USC at number 10, Baylor number 9, Texas A&M at 8, number 7 Notre Dame, 6 Utah, 5 Michigan, 4 Clemson, 3 Georgia, 2 Ohio State, and of course number 1 Alabama. Those are our latest preseason top 10 rankings for college football. I hope you liked them. Do give me your feedback. Do you think Michigan's too high? Do you think Utah's too high? I'm a big fan of what Utah's building. I am. Do I think they can compete at the national level with Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan? I think maybe Michigan you could argue. Maybe Clemson you could argue, but they can't compete with Georgia or Bama, and I could argue they can't compete with Ohio State, and you saw in the Rose Bowl last year. You just did. It's tough, man. Talent wins, baby. Talent wins. That's why you got to recruit. That's why you got to recruit. Yeah, he ain't got Ohio State ready to compete against the top 3 SEC teams. Yeah, I agree, Watt. I agree. Ryan, that will be Ryan Day's downfall at Ohio State. Again, he only lost one Big Ten game in his career so far. It was last year to Michigan. But I'm just saying, if you're Ryan Day, you want to talk about pressure going into the year? You will likely, in my opinion, as long as you don't lose your opener, as long as you don't lose the opener to Notre Dame, you will likely run the table, Ohio State. And you're going to be in Columbus at home against Michigan. And if you lose that game, we're going to have the conversation of what to do with Ryan Day. We just are. Whether that's fair or not, whether he's a phenomenal coach or not, that doesn't matter. But if you lose to a one-loss Michigan team in that game at home, no one's going to feel bad for you. No one's going to put you in the college football playoff. They'll take a 2-loss SEC team over you. Like, I'm sorry. Want to talk about pressure? Pressure's on Ryan Day and Ohio State this year. They have the talent. Are they physical enough in the trenches? Will they find an identity on defense? That we'll all figure out later. But that to me is the question. Jesse Adams says Baylor is way too high. I don't know, Jesse. I don't think so. Where would you have Baylor? They're at least top 12. Maybe you could argue 13. I'd put them at 9. I'd have them ahead of Oklahoma, easily. Michigan State ended the year, or excuse me, the season as the 9th ranked team nationally. Where are they going to be this year? I'm not ready to give my comments on Michigan State yet. I'm still going through and really trying to understand what I should expect from them this year. I don't have a definitive answer, but we're going to take a quick break. Top of the hour coming up. Jeff Iafrate joining us this morning. I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. But before we do, I got to tell you about our good friends over at Gypsy Vodka and their official drink of the summer, and that's the Mulligan. Whether you're on the golf course with myself, Westfall, and Fish this weekend, or you're out at the bar with Maddie, Jeff, or Terry, I don't give a damn who. The Mulligan is the right drink for you. Iced tea, lemonade, Gypsy Vodka mix. It's the official drink of the summer. Support local as always, and please drink responsibly.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Good friends at Chili Peppers Tan. Join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You get all the best deals. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. Chili Peppers has the hottest balls, hottest deals, and the darkest tans. 26 locations in the great state of Michigan. Join Chili Peppers Tan, and there's more on the way. Chili Peppers Tan.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Top of the hour, brought to you by Bedrock Detroit. Jeff Iafrate joining us this morning. Jeff, a lot of rumors circling.
Yeah, a lot of rumors.
All I know is those rumors are false unless you take off your hat. Oh, God. All right, look, Jalen had a golf outing yesterday.
He did, yep.
And he did give an interesting quote about the Pistons' backcourt and the future and what it could mean for this team's success. If you could walk our audience through it.
Yeah, yesterday at Jalen Rose's event, he talked about the backcourt this year for the Pistons, and he kind of compared it to just in general, historically through Pistons history, and all the great backcourts and how they've equated most of the time to success. Here's the topic, and I'll briefly run down the quote. Jalen said, "There was my biological father, Jimmy Walker, and Dave Bing was an all-star backcourt in the 70s. Then, of course, the bad boys, Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas was an all-star backcourt. He said, how about Chauncey and he actually said, Billups and Rip Hamilton, an all-star backcourt. I think we have another all-star backcourt in Jaden and Cade Cunningham." And I thought that was an interesting perspective because we've had this discussion a lot on Woodward Pistons, and Deuce brought this up, I believe. Every time the Pistons have won a championship, it's been because of an all-star backcourt, or at least an all-star caliber backcourt. And I think these two guys, Jaden Ivey and Cade, are really, since Chauncey and Rip, have that potential to be an all-star backcourt and to lead these guys to an NBA championship. So I know Jalen Rose he's always going to be pro-Piston. He's going to say good things, but he really went back all the way to the 70s, Adam, and he brought up three backcourts, and they've all equated most of the time to success. So it's a good conversation to have, and I wanted to bring it up on the show just to have that conversation. Is this the next all-star backcourt? And I think so. And if you look at both players, Jaden Ivey, as dynamic as he is, I think eventually he has all-star caliber talent. Cade Cunningham, I don't think we really have to have a discussion about Cade, but them two together, I'm telling you, they're gonna do some damage. And when they both hit their prime, I think eventually this team it'll equate to a title. I really believe that.
Let's look at how this works in terms of how do you win in the NBA? Stars.
Absolutely.
Star-driven league. Warriors won it last season. Steph Curry, Draymond, Clay, Wiggins was an emerging star apparently. He came out of nowhere. Yeah. Jordan Poole was a star off the bench.
Right.
That was phenomenal. Milwaukee, Giannis, Middleton. Lakers, LeBron, AD. Toronto, that was a whole lucky facade, but whatever. KD back-to-back years with Clay. You just need talent. You need stars.
Even with Toronto, they traded for Kawhi, a star, and it got him a title.
It's a star-driven league.
Right.
That's the reality. And at the end of the day, if you told me 5 years from now, Cade Cunningham was a top 5 point guard in the NBA, and Jaden Ivey was a top 10 shooting guard,
there you go.
You're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times in a 10-year stretch, I think. Probably even more. Who knows? Depends how the East is.
And you look at the Celtics. I know they're not a backcourt, but 2 young star players, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. You surround these guys, and this is why I talk about my worry isn't necessarily with Jaden Ivey or Cade Cunningham. It's the others, because the stars can get you there. The others win you an NBA championship. You saw it this year with Golden State. You brought up Andrew Wiggins. Boston, you can go to Grant Williams, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams is another one. Like, those guys are the reason why they were in that game. Derek White, another one being. But when Jason Tatum struggles or Jaylen Brown struggles, you need to rely on the others. And I think as much as we can give these 2 guys credit, Cade and Jaden Ivey, and they're going to be all-stars, for these guys to win a title it's not going to be just on Jaden and Cade. It's going to be Sadiq. What is Killian? Is he still here? Isaiah Stewart. Does he develop a jump shot? Consistent jump shot. And then Jalen Duren. That's the whole point I took out of it, Adam, is you can have an all-star backcourt. But if you want a title, it's up to the others. And I think they're on their way to do that.
Sure.
And they got a lot of cap space available to do that.
Sure, yes. They're going to have to spend a lot of it to keep their players.
Right.
They potentially have 3 max players coming up not too far from now. But my question to you, Jeff, is how do you win a championship? You need a leader. Last season, the leader was Steph. The year prior, it was Giannis. The year prior, it was, I believe, Kawhi. Was that the year?
Yeah.
No, LeBron, and then the year before that, Kawhi, and then Steph, really those 2 years with KD, was the leader of that team. But I think Cade Cunningham has LeBron-Steph traits. And what I mean by that is character, leadership qualities, selfless, just like Steph Curry. Very overwhelming at times in terms of his size. He's bigger than people think. And as a guard matchup, that's a problem. LeBron qualities. He's a mismatch. He plays really like a 7, 8, 9-year vet. Really doesn't play under pressure. Was one of the better fourth quarter clutch players in the NBA last season after the All-Star break. You have that in Cade Cunningham already. Now, do you have your Jaylen Brown, your Chris Middleton, your Anthony Davis? You're going to need a number 2. Is it Sadiq Bey? I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong.
Right.
That's a great thing to be wrong about. But I look at Jaden Ivey and say, hey, kid, that's you.
That's the 2, yeah.
You're the guy with explosiveness. You're the guy with the uber athleticism. You're the guy that I actually think could be the best player coming out of this draft class.
You're not crazy.
That's how you win. Ivey hits. I don't care what you do with all your money. I don't care what you do with any of it. You're going to win. It's that simple. Cade's there. Cade's going to be a superstar, no doubt. I have 0 doubts about it. If there was a bet I could make on him becoming a quote-unquote superstar, I would make it today. Sell the house, everything.
I agree with you. And that's why I can't wait to see just Jade on the court. We got to see what he brings. I think there's a lot of things you can be excited about. And I think a lot of people, you can check out From Half Court on social media. I just posted our predictions, my predictions for Jaden Ivey's rookie season. I think he's going to have a good rookie season. I don't know about efficiency numbers. That's a whole other conversation. But like you said, we know Cade's going to be that guy because what we saw his rookie year. So a lot of, confirming what we think is going to be watching Jaden Ivey this year and seeing what kind of impact he has on the court. And I think that even defensively, there's so many things he can get better at that we aren't even talking about yet. So to your point, Adam, absolutely. You draft him at 5, that's your second best player in a couple of years. No question about it. If he's not, I think I'd be a little surprised. A lot surprised, actually.
I think you'd be more disappointed than surprised, to be fair.
If Sadiq's at number 2, I'd be like, okay, all right.
What an interesting dynamic. But again, I expect Ivey to play on the ball a lot more than Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, me too.
But Sadiq's game is also evolution. It's a whole thing, dude.
Sadiq can play off ball.
The crazy thing about this Pistons team that I can't wrap my head around is they can easily be a 32-34 win team and at the same time bottom out and win 20-23 games. And I'm sorry, we don't need another 18, 19-year-old prospect who's top 5 in the NBA prospect list.
No, we don't.
You just don't. You have enough of them.
Yeah. You got to extend these guys.
Hayes, Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Stewart. If you want to count Livers as being my guest. But Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, you're 7 deep already.
You have 21-year-olds. Yeah.
You have 7 players that will be here 4 years from now and be in their prime. What the hell do you do with that?
Yeah.
I compare it a little bit to Golden State, a little bit to Boston's situation, at least in the early stages. They're going to need vets. They're going to need quality vets. They're not going to get it this year. Maybe they get it the next year and the year after. But you're still 3-4 years away from even being considered a contender in the East. And that's not because you can't fix the roster. You have to wait for your guys to develop into stars. And the average time span for a player to develop into a star is 5 to 6 years.
And on top of that, you got to learn how to win. So I don't want to lose. If these guys can take next steps, that's what they want. If you listen to Cade, Sadiq, any of these guys, in Jaden Ivey when he first got here, I want to turn this city around. I want to turn this team around. So if you come out this year and you win 20 games, Like, that's just, I get it. It's only Cade's second year, but 2 years of winning 20 games in 20 games, like, what are you building? Like, I get you have a young core, but look at Minnesota. They had a young core for a long time. What the hell did they win? Nothing. So it's not just having a young core. It's what can you do with that young core? How do they take the next steps and learn how to win? Cade's a winner. I mean, that's his mindset. He wants to win. So I think that's number one on his mind. Sadiq is also one of those guys. You see how they have to kick him out of the gym. So those two guys I'm not worried about. Jaden Ivey's another one that I think is going to fit right into the culture. So these guys have to take the next step this year, Adam. So like you said, 32 to 34 wins, that's progress. That's 10 wins better than last season. The following season, this next off season, you're going to have $60 million in cap space.
I was asked a question on TikTok earlier. Where would I rank the Detroit GMs? I put Steve Yzerman 1, Brad Holmes 2, Troy Weaver 3. But Troy Weaver, not a knock on him that he's at 3. I just think with Brad Holmes, he's more likely to deliver success sooner than Troy Weaver. And the NBA, it really is a time thing.
Yeah.
Timing's got to be right to win a championship. And with this team, they're so young, they need time. With Brad Holmes, you can turn it around in 2-3 years if you get the coaching right and you get the talent in the room. So,
and it's
where
hard.
Where would you rank the 3?
I would actually agree with you. We had this conversation on Big D Energy yesterday. It wasn't about the general managers, but it was about the scouting department. And I had the Red Wings number 1, and then I had the Lions number 2. Just because, listen, 7 rounds, and Brad Holmes is every year finding guys. Amon Ra in the 4th, Malcolm in the 6th. Like, you're finding guys that can start on your football team late in the draft. I think that's what kind of gives them the edge. But it's too early. I mean, if the Pistons are a better team quicker than the Lions, if they make progress and they are signing guys and they're taking the next step, then you probably have to have a new conversation. But as of right now, all these teams are really rebuilding. So I can't fault you for that. I think Brad Holmes, he's been impressive, just as impressive as Troy Weaver. But however you want to, if you want to put Troy 2 and Brad 3, I'm not going to argue. I think the mutual agreement, Adam, is Steve Yzerman 1. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. Track record speaks for itself.
Yeah,
but 2 and 3, disagree. It's too early.
I wouldn't disagree. My question for you is expectations for the year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to give me a win total, but at the end of the day, 82 games are over and done with. Give me 3 takeaways from the season that you'd be like, all right, productive year.
Cade has an all-star year, caliber year, a year where you can say, all right, this guy's putting up these type of numbers. He's going to be an all-star soon if they win games. That's what I'm looking at out of Cade Cunningham. Number 2 would be Jaden Ivey. How does he look his rookie year? Is he more ready than we thought, or does he need more time? That's the second thing, because a lot of the steps this team's going to take is dependent on Jaden Ivey's progression. So where he's at in the season, I'm going to be paying attention to that. The third thing would be Sadiq Bey. I have to see Sadiq. That's probably if I had to make an argument, you could probably argue he's the number 1 guy I'm watching, because I want to see where he lines up. Where does he fall in the pecking order? Is he your number 2 this year? Is he your number 3? Will he always be your number 3? Could he be a number 2 in the future? I think the jury isn't yet written out on Sadiq Bey. I think there's a lot of potential there, but those are the 3 I'm going to be watching, the 3 best players for the Pistons I'm going to be paying attention to, because the wins don't matter this year. I mean, it does, but it really doesn't. It's individual progression. If these guys take the next step and you win 28 games, 30 games, I'm cool with it. It's more so the big picture. So those are the 3 things I'm going to be watching for, Adam. Is Cade Cunningham at an all-star level? Is Jaden Ivey more ready than I thought his rookie year? And is Sadiq Bey, where does he land in the pecking order? Is he your 3rd best? Well, is he your 4th best? Like, you don't know with Sadiq. I think there's a lot of room to grow for him. So those are the 3 things I'll be watching.
Fair enough. Well, Jeff, thanks so much for hopping on this morning.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you guys.
it as always. When we get back, optimism and confidence growing in the city of Detroit. We'll talk about that and more. We have Flannel Sam coming up at 9:29.
Legend killer.
What Michigan's football ceiling is this season. I can't wait to talk to him about that. We'll go over our top 10 list too, see what he thinks about it. But before we do, Fish, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
Alrighty, SMA, Sports Marketing Agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. The new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets daily. All live. All right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
If you know someone who does not know how to throw a football, Adham Beydoun, then take them to the Following Warehouse in Hamtramck, Michigan, home of the original football bowling game. Chris and Noni Hutt will teach you a few things about that. 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play, or $120 land reservation up to 10 people, $2 mystery beer, throw in $2 or 2 singles, and get yourself a cool beer. They also have football of your choice. Check it out at thefollowingwarehouse.com today.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show, 9:17. We got a few minutes, about 10 minutes before we get Flannel Sam up here. I'm excited to talk to him, but you know what? I want to take a step back a little bit with the teams we have in town. You have the Red Wings, the Lions, and the Pistons. And for a sports town that has seen championships in the 90s, the early 2000s with the Wings, with the Pistons, you've seen World Series appearances in 2006. You've seen it again in the early 2010s. You know what success is. You know what it looks like, and you know when you're on the right track. Granted, it's never happened with your football team. But has there ever been a more confident period of time you've had, especially between the Pistons, Lions, and the Wings all at the same time? Yeah, the Wings were good and the Pistons were good in the early 2000s at the same time. Yes, that is true. But now that you have the football team kind of like up there a little bit with, there's like a whole new level of optimism. And I could be very naive, right? I'm very young. I don't even remember half the stuff that happened in the 90s. I was too young. But I think it's fair to say the Lions right now are on a trajectory you probably haven't seen in a while. I would be confident at least saying in 28, 30 years. Fair? You guys let me know what you think. The Red Wings, Steve Yzerman's in charge. Do you really have any doubts? I don't. You ever worried Lalonde might not work? Nah, I'm good. Not worried. Are you worried he won't spend enough in free agency or make the right trades? Nah, I'm good. Come on. That's something. Troy Weaver. Again, I think basketball is a bit different, and this isn't a town that's going to attract a superstar free agent. But with time, are we all on the same page here? Yeah, expect this team to be a contender eventually with Cade Cunningham. I think most of you, honestly, would say yes. When has that ever happened? When have you ever had those, specifically those 3 teams at one time, have you feeling that good about all of them at once? I'm not worried about the Red Wings. Hell, honest to God, not too worried about the Pistons right now. And if you told me in 3 years, Adam, what do you think your takeaways are going to be of the Detroit Lions? I'm going to say they're talented. They're a really talented team. Because I trust Brad Holmes to do the job and surround whoever's the coach, whether it's Dan, your mother, my mother, I don't care, whoever it is. They're going to have talent. Brad Holmes is not going to be the problem with this team. But Brad Holmes has 2 major decisions that every GM in the NFL must hit on. And no matter who you get, and I always use Spielman as an example, the former Vikings GM, he hit on Dalvin. He hit on Justin Jefferson. Doesn't matter. Didn't get the coach right in Zimmer. Didn't get the quarterback right. Brad Holmes will make those decisions one day. Maybe he doesn't have to with Dan Campbell. Maybe it just works out. He's a phenomenal coach. You never have to worry about him. You just have to get the quarterback right. That's the reality. That's it. And maybe I'm oversimplifying a bit, but I think it's important to look at things sometimes that simply, because it shouldn't be any harder than just that. Because they're professionals. That's their job. Their job is to do those things. So yes, it is my expectation that you make those correct decisions. And I think more often than not, over the next 3 to 5 years, Brad Holmes, Troy Weaver, and Steve Yzerman will all make very good decisions. And I don't think there are going to be many that you sit there and question. Nobody questioned when they traded up. You sure as hell didn't question what you had to give up to get him, because you basically traded up 20 spots for a third-round pick and a few swaps. Not bad if you ask me. Not bad if you ask me. I'll take it. It's insane to me. It really is. I have never been alive to see the Pistons, Wings, and the Lions all be in an upward trajectory at one point. It's never happened to me in my lifetime. What's the biggest position piece the Tigers are missing? They're not missing a position player. They're missing everything. They suck. The Tigers suck. They have nothing. Chris Ilitch sits up there. We have foundational pieces. Do you, buddy? Oh, is it Riley Green batting .230? That's a foundational piece? What about Torque 189? That's your foundational piece? Oh, well, we pitch well. Can't win if you don't score, buddy. God help the Tigers. Tigers are going to be a tough watch the next few years. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Please, Brad, Steve, and Troy, don't let me down. It's bad enough we got to watch the Tigers in this town. Please don't make it worse for people here. Please, and God bless. Whew. God. Is Campbell the best coach in Detroit? I would say no. No, how can you say that? The best coach? What's the definition of best coach? The most talented coach? The coach with the most experience? He's not that. He hasn't won before. So it's tough to say he's the best coach. I think he's just part of the group right now. I don't think most people don't question AJ Hinch, although that's a whole different problem with the Tigers. You're looking at Casey as a stopgap coach. Most people are. Some people think he can be the guy that turns it around and you win with. Okay. What does that do for me? Nothing much. Derek Lalonde, I think you can win with. Steve Yzerman handpicked him. Very confident in that. Okay. Dan Campbell. Right now, Dan Campbell's a 3-win coach. So much as I don't like to say it, that's the reality. He's a 3-13-1 coach. And at the end of the year, if he wins another 3 games, none of you are going to like Dan Campbell. That's the truth. So I have them winning 7, possibly 8 games this year. That's improvement. Should they contend for the division in year 3? They should. Will you fire him if they don't win it? No. Depends on context. But I think you have to at least contend for the division in year 3. The talent will be there, in my opinion. Brad Holmes will do his job. Whether or not Dan Campbell will do his job is a different conversation. Whew. Coming up in a few minutes, Flannel Sam joins us, and we will talk Michigan football, what their ceiling is this year. And then, of course, we'll look ahead to the 3rd episode of Hard Knocks, all that and more when we get back. But before we do, I got to tell you about where I got my haircut, my beard taken care of over the weekend, and that was at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, walk-in anytime, and no appointment necessary. Their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. Walk in anytime to any Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization, we serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Alrighty, if you're drunk as some of the people I was with who think the Lions are going to go 15-2, then OddsTrader is the place for you, the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price from every game from multiple sports books. Just go to oddstrader.com, find a game you like. They have all the bets there. You don't have to go searching for different websites, frustrated. Just click of a button, and you're good, maybe several clicks. Anyways, you're good to go. Go to oddstrader.com today for your best bets. A lot of games to pick from today, so choose wisely or don't. Doesn't matter to me.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Flannel Sam joining us. What is Michigan football ceiling this year? Flannel, I'll let you take lead. I hinted something towards you from a chat comment about Michigan. Yes. If they were to go 10-2 and lose to Ohio State and Iowa, you said that would be disappointing. So, my question for you, what are your expectations for Michigan this year? And of course, what is their ceiling?
So first of all, my expectation is for them to be undefeated going into the Ohio State game. I think the schedule allows it. I think they're going to have a talent gap in every single game, a talent advantage in every game that they're going to play up to that point. And I expect, especially coming off of last year, with everybody returning, with that offense being explosive, with that defense actually having some talented players. That secondary is really good and experienced. That linebacking core with Junior Colson, I think he's actually going to be an upgrade in Nakai Hill-Green over Josh Ross. The defensive line is, of course, a little bit of a concern. But you got guys like Mike Morris stepping in. Mike Morris, I read a scouting report on him. They compare him to Chris Wormley, which I kind of agree. That would be amazing because Chris Wormley was a dude at Michigan because he's a little bit too big to be just a pure edge rusher, but he can also rush the passer, and he can also stop the run. Jalen Harrell, and of course, Mozzie Smith. When you get expectations to being the #1 athletic freak in the country, that you expect him to show out and actually perform. Their ceiling, and I'm going to look at the camera for this one, their ceiling, national champions. Their ceiling. I think if you start J.J. McCarthy, if that offense clicks on all cylinders with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards as like the 1-2 punch out of the backfield, that offensive line is returning Zach Zinner and Ryan Hayes and adding a transfer in Victor Oluwatimi, that wide receiver core is the deepest it has been since I can remember. One of the most talented wide receiver cores that Michigan has ever had, with Ronnie Bell returning, and I haven't even included Eric All, who is one of the best tight ends in the country. But there are a lot of ifs to winning the national championship. First off, they have to start J.J. McCarthy. I think you would agree that if they're going to hit their ceiling, J.J. McCarthy has to start at quarterback. That is end of discussion. And also those defensive linemen that I wouldn't say I'm hyping up, but are promising but unproven, they have to not fill the roles of Aiden Hutchinson and Ojabo, because that was like a unicorn line. But be productive, and at least one of them maybe pop and turn into a star. And of course, yeah.
Before I comment on your ceiling, let alone your expectations, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How much of an impact does losing Josh Gaddis and Mike McDonald have on this football team?
I think losing Mike McDonald is a bigger impact. I think that could be huge because he was the one that unlocked the potential of that defense that could never seem to be unlocked under Don Brown. Because Don Brown's defense had talented players like Rashawn Gary, Chase Winovich, Devin Bush, David Long, but they would always, especially in 2018 and 2019, they would just completely like crap the bed against Ohio State. They were not good against talented teams, and teams that were more talented than them. And Mike McDonald unlocked the potential of that defense and was, in my opinion, the single most valuable assistant coach in the country. Josh Gaddis, I think, when you look at last year's offense, I think that had Jim Harbaugh's fingerprints all over it. I don't think Josh Gaddis was kind of hailed as the guy who was going to bring speed in space. That certainly was not a speed in space offense last year. It was a ground and pound. And so I don't think losing Josh Gaddis is a huge deal, but Mike McDonald, that could potentially be huge, and that could be a reason why the defense does not reach their full potential this year.
Okay, I have a problem with your ceiling.
Okay.
We'll start there.
All right.
I'm a big fan of starting J.J. McCarthy. I think it's a must. I think they have to for the program's sake.
Yes.
Not just for on-the-field results. I think they can win the same amount of games with either quarterback. I don't think there's much of a difference in the win column, given how easy the schedule is. I think where it's going to probably hurt you on who you decide to go with is Iowa, Michigan State, Ohio State. You're going to need something different this year. Hassan Haskins, I think, is a big loss. I love Donovan Edwards. Love Blake Corum. Are they bell cows?
You don't know.
You don't know. And question marks are concerning. Are you going to get 15 quarterback pressures against Ohio State this year?
That's like
from
a
the
once
team,
in a lifetime.
let alone one player, right?
And debatable.
What we're debating is in a one-year sample window, all of this had to go right just to beat Ohio State. And I don't think that's replicable this year, given one, their talent, and two, I think Mike McDonald's a huge loss. It just is. The guy's going to be a defensive coordinator for the Ravens. He's going to be phenomenal, but we complained about Don Brown for years.
Yes.
You got rid of him, instant success.
Yep.
The guy you had success with, boom, to the NFL. That's a problem for me. But does Cade McNamara lose any game this year outside of maybe Iowa and Ohio State?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Does J.J. McCarthy lose any game outside of maybe Iowa and Ohio State?
No, he does not. And I think he beats Iowa.
And maybe, sure, but I think that both are capable of beating Iowa. But kind of where I'm getting at is you want to be regarded like Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Bama. USC is going to come to the Big Ten and out-recruit you. That's the reality.
Not yet, though. Not this year.
But still. And where I'm going with this, Flannel, is, and you're a Michigan man.
Yes.
And my pitch to you is, if I told you you had two scenarios on the year, you ran the table and lost to Ohio State only the whole year. You finished 11-1. You missed out on the college football playoff because there was an undefeated Clemson and Georgia ran the table, or Bama both ran the table, let's say. One of them was a one-loss team. The other team lost in the championship game, just like last year, and they both get in. You barely miss out. But the only difference between the two, JJ started, Kate started. What would you prefer for your program? What would be more beneficial to your program?
I mean, losing to Ohio State, I don't think there's any shame in that this year. If J.J. McCarthy starts, if Cade McNamara starts, I'm always going to wonder, like, especially if he looks the same as he did last year.
Oh, can you remind me? Because I was at the game. I don't recall how Cade McNamara played against Ohio State. I thought he was phenomenal, wasn't he?
13 of 19, 157 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. And Hassan Haskins, 169 yards, 5 touchdowns, 6 yards per carry. Blake Corum, 5 carries, 82 yards. And Aiden Hutchinson, 15 quarterback pressures, 3 sacks. David Ojabo had a sack. They held that Ohio State explosive offense to 27 points, which is actually quite the accomplishment. So if they lose to Ohio State, and are 11-1 with Cade McNamara as quarterback. Although I believe he would lose another game in the season, that would be, I think, a failure. If JJ McCarthy is starting, at least you kind of like put all your chips in.
Do you believe JJ McCarthy will lose you games by turning the ball over 3-4 times in a given game?
Absolutely not.
But do we believe that is a possibility with how young and inexperienced he is?
I don't think so, because I just think they're going to have a talent advantage on
most games outside of Ohio State.
Yes, and the receiving core is so good, and I don't understand this whole idea that J.J. McCarthy is turnover prone. And even if he does throw a few more interceptions, what's the big deal? You say it about Matthew Stafford all the time. He threw interceptions. Every quarterback who has ever played football, except for Aaron Rodgers, has thrown interceptions. You have to take chances every once in a while. And Cade McNamara, and let me remind you, how do you do against Georgia? 0 touchdowns, 2 picks.
1 to 4 touchdown interception ratio in his 3 most important games: Penn State, Iowa, and Ohio State. Ohio State, Iowa, Georgia.
Yes.
Excuse me, sorry.
From the guy who doesn't turn the football over, right?
So, it's all good. Look, your ceiling, anything national championship, I'm not going to buy into for Michigan, although I think they're a program that can be that.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do a few things that, I don't know, people I respect do. Nick Saban's telling you can't win with defense. Even Kirby Smart, they had a loaded offense. James Cook. Stenson Bennett. They have the best tight end in the country. Who will be a first-round pick this year.
Jermaine Burton last year. Zamir
George
White.
Pickens. I mean, they were stacked. And Stenson Bennett, for a game manager, almost threw double the touchdowns Cade McNamara did.
I still don't like
27 or 28 to 15, I believe.
Stetson Bennett is still a bum. He had the easiest job in America. JT Daniels could have won that national championship. He should have.
But JT, I mean, was a first-round pick going into the season before he got hurt. So
yeah, he lost his job to injury.
No, look, I agree, and that Georgia team was special. But Alabama is rolling out with Bryce Young. Clemson's going to roll out with their version. Ohio State, C.J. Stroud. You look around the country, Purdue has a good quarterback.
Yeah.
You're looking for a guy that can throw the football and be dynamic if possible. J.J. McCarthy fits that billing.
Yes, he does.
I think it's a no-brainer, man.
And that's why I said ceiling is national championship. Expectation, just to reiterate, is at the very least go into the Ohio State game undefeated and see what happens.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, look, Flannel, can't thank you enough for hopping on this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. As always, good insight. Actually, you know what? Before I let you go.
Yes.
Westfall, when you get a chance, if you could throw up on the screen. This is my preseason top 10. These are my 10 teams for the college football playoff. My top 10 college football rankings going into the season. I got USC in the top 10. I have them sitting there at 10. I have Utah as high as 6. Bama 1. And Michigan sitting there at 5. What do you think?
I don't hate it. I don't know if I necessarily agree with Utah at 6, and Clemson at 4, I think that is dependent entirely on quarterback play because DJ Uiagalelei was terrible last year, and that was the only reason they didn't hit their ceiling. Alabama 1, Ohio State 2, I agree with. Georgia 3, they're the clear top 3 in my opinion. And Michigan 5, and they're going to be high in the rankings all season because they're going to just win a ton of games because the schedule is so weak, and they are a talented team. But
8 home games, correct, for Michigan?
8 home games, yeah. I don't hate the list, though. I mean, USC, Caleb Williams.
You have a problem with USC being there?
I do
not. Am I putting
not.
them too early right now?
Absolutely not. Lincoln Riley is the greatest offensive mind in college football, and you bring him Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison? Are you kidding me? That could be the number one. Okay, not number one. I think C.J. Stroud and Jackson Smith and Jigba will be the number one quarterback wide receiver duo.
Don't sleep on Bryce Young and what they have going on in Alabama,
That's
too.
That's very fair. But, Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison are going to put up video game numbers. And that offense...
If USC can somehow beat Utah,
that's the big game, right?
They may be bidding for a college football playoff appearance. They could be a one-loss champion, conference champion, and
100%.
You might have to consider getting them in.
100%. I mean, one loss in the Pac-12 though. That's a little bit.
I know, but it depends who it is, where it happens.
Sure.
I mean, they play Notre Dame,
so
they have a tough out-of-conference game.
That'd be a big win. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think USC will probably end up being anywhere from 12 as high as 7, 6, maybe even 5. I think they're a 2-loss team this year. I'd say 10-2 for USC, year 1 under Lincoln Riley. You know what's funny? Lincoln Riley, you know what he did his first 3 years at Oklahoma?
Oh, I mean, had 3 2 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, first
2
overall
number 1
pick,
picks.
and then Jalen Hurts. He went from being kind of a guy who lost his job to Tua to a second round pick who actually looked like he could throw the football. Lincoln Riley is an offensive genius, and if anything says otherwise, you're wrong.
His first 3 years: 12-2, 12-2, 12-2, 9-2, 10-2. That's Lincoln Riley, Mr. Overrated.
That's
okay.
You know how many? Shut the hell up.
Can you
Fish.
understand
Shut the
where
hell
it's
up, Fish.
coming from, though?
Shut the hell up, Fish. Shut the hell up. 1 second. Let's see if you guys know your history. How many 12-win seasons does Michigan have in its entirety?
I believe 2. 1.
Lincoln Riley, in his first 3 years as a collegiate head coach, has more 12-win seasons than your entire program.
They didn't have 12 in 97?
No, I believe it was 11. Here, I'll check again.
I think they had 12 in 97, but I may be wrong.
Michigan football has won 12 football games. Let's see. Last year, obviously, 97.
I don't think any before that.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. So twice. He did it 3 times in his first 3 years. Mr. Overrated.
He's not overrated. I mean, the fact that Oklahoma could never put together a defense, that's a little... I don't know if that's necessarily on Lincoln Riley, but hiring his personnel, I guess you could knock him for that. But those offenses, turning Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray into number 1 overall picks. I'm not saying they weren't talented, but did anybody think they were going to be number 1 overall picks
Probably
before
not.
the years they had with Lincoln Riley?
Probably not.
People didn't think Jalen Hurts was an NFL quarterback until he went to Lincoln Riley. He got benched for Tua in the national championship game. They would have... He looked awful in that game.
I agree.
He deserved to get benched.
I agree.
Goes to Lincoln Riley and is all of a sudden second in the Heisman.
Not bad.
It's not overrated, Fish.
Flannel, appreciate
I
you
didn't say it was
joining.
overrated, but I could see where people were saying that because he coached Oklahoma, a team in the Big 12 that failed miserably in the college football playoffs, if you all remember.
So Jim
And they're
Harbaugh's
in-
overrated then? Because Michigan failed miserably in the college football playoff.
But you have to look at what conference they're in. The Big 10's a harder conference than the Big 12.
No, it's not. The Big Ten, Michigan has 2-3 games a year.
Okay, Oklahoma has
Oklahoma
one.
has 1 or 2. Baylor's a good program.
Yeah.
They're a tough game.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State rivalry, that's always a good game. I'm not saying it's Ohio State, but no, we're not going to do that this morning. Flannel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, expectations for tonight's 3rd episode of Hard Knocks. But before we do, Fish, our good friends over at Cintron.
Lovely folks at Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings hockey team. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into an limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic and sugar-free, all in 1 pack. Pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron. Let's go Red Wings.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, don't mind me. Discount my fun coupons from my Yankee victory yesterday. We've been red hot over there at the Woodward Bet Show at 4:30. You guys got to make sure you get over there and check it out. You also got to get over to that app store and download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds of sports books right in the palm of your hands. But hey, let's get back to those winners. Let's bounce right back to that Yankee-Mets series. Listen, Mets are 34-10 after a loss. We're going to roll with that. Let's take the Mets as underdogs. Oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Open all summer long, and of course, this Thursday, we'll be live from Bedrock, Detroit, at the Monroe Street Midway for Jersey Thursday. Roller skating party brought to you by our good friends, of course, at Bedrock, Detroit. A live DJ jersey giveaway. Wear your favorite jersey to the event. All thanks to our good friends over at Bedrock, Detroit. We are back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Looking ahead to the third episode of Hard Knocks, my question to all of you in the chat this morning is, what are you looking for? Not expectation. I want to know what you want to see from tonight's episode. And I'll be selfish and I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see Jared Goff. I know I've been clamoring for Ben Johnson, but at this point, it's fine. I'll deal with it. I want to see more Jared Goff. And I don't want it to be Hollywood. I don't want it to be forced. But show me what Goff's like. Because I really think as a human, he's much better off this year than he was last year. He got dumped by his former team. They traded 2 first-round picks to get him. Or, excuse me, get rid of him. Came in with not much confidence. And not only not much confidence, there wasn't much talent. And Anthony Lynn wasn't doing him any favors. And then obviously the season plays out. They make the change with Lynn. He starts to play some of the better football we've seen him play in the last 2-3 years. And you're confident going into the season, and so far in camp and the preseason, he's done a pretty decent job. Okay. I can live with that. I don't mind that at all. Cool. But I want to see him communicate. I want to see how he is in the locker room. Selfishly. Doesn't mean he's going to be good or bad because of it. But you ask me what I want to see tonight on Hard Knocks? I want to see Jared Goff. Let's see. Brett says he wants to see more St. James. Why, Adam? We know his story. This is his 3rd time on Hard Knocks. No, Jesse. It's a whole new story with Jared Goff. Outside of Jared Goff, I'd say Jeff Okudah, too. Coming off an Achilles injury. How he's doing. He's getting a ton of praise. His work ethic, his speed, but I haven't seen much of him. More Goff. I want to see more Okudah and how Swift is doing. That's fair, Brandon. I'm thinking tonight will be better than episode 2. Goff seems to have an absence of personality, which I don't really care for as long as he plays okay. I don't know how you would determine that. I'd like to see more of T.J. Hawkinson. Interesting. Very interesting. Adam, did you watch Goff and Ragnar fishing on YouTube? I absolutely did. It was awesome. Let's see what else. What else do you guys want to see? You want to see more Ben Johnson? Me too. Me too. I want to see Jared Goff's girlfriend. I don't blame you guys. I don't blame you guys. Lee McNeil is the biggest story not getting talked about, says Jack. You know what, Jack? He got a lot of praise during joint practice with the Colts. Hasn't been a feature on Hard Knocks. But I'll tell you what I don't want to see. Please don't show me the Hutchinson family anymore. Not in a bad way. But I
met
got
most of them.
I got enough of them. I know you met them, by the way. How are they? Nice people?
Yeah, I met the dad and the sister. I was angry that I didn't get to meet the mom. I didn't know the mom was there until someone said the mom was there. I'm like, where
was that?
Plymouth. Yeah, Plymouth.
What were you doing there?
Yeah, Plymouth. What was I doing there? My dad worked. He was one of the sponsors for the Plymouth Festival, or what is it? Westfall Concert Series, or I guess it's not
is
a concert.
Is his dad like a drug dealer or something?
Pretty much.
What does your dad do?
He does magazines.
Oh, so he's a drug dealer. I'd love to see less Jamal Williams. Interesting. I'd like to see the O-line, the dominant room on the team. Not bad, Motown. I want to see Sewell, Frank, Decker, and the rest of the O-line. Mostly Big V being annoyed at Jamal's jokes, lol. Kevin, not bad. I want to see Matt Patricia's girlfriend. I'm curious. Does he have a girlfriend, or is he married?
Let's find out.
Let's find out, Fish. Let me know. We are going to take a quick pause, actually. We're running out of time. 9:50 coming up. We'll get to Mailbag. So everybody, if you have your questions, get them in the chat right now, whether on TikTok or YouTube. Get your questions in the chat, and I'll obviously answer them, whether it's for Fish, myself, Alex. We'll get it all taken care of, excuse me. But before we do, Fish, the best defense on and off the field.
We have an update after Guardian Alarm. Summertime is here, and that means spending more time outside. Guardian Alarm gives you peace of mind while you're spending time enjoying the outside weather, maybe on the beach, the grass, maybe going to parties this weekend. How do you not? Just call the famous number 1-800-STAY-OUT today,
What's
and
up,
you can
Ivan?
rest easy knowing you have 24/7 peace of mind. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Go watch Champions League football. You're gonna love it. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you today.
Good job, Fish.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. Baby, talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. We'll start with Jack Harrington. Is Monday the day you decide your college football fandom, Jack? Yes, that is correct. We'll be posting an announcement video. On Friday, I actually won't be on the show. Unfortunately, I won't be here Friday. I will be up in Ann Arbor or East Lansing. I'll be at one of the two shooting a promo video for where I will announce my fandom for the season, whether I support the Spartans or the Wolverines. You guys will find out Monday. I can't wait. Caldwell won a Super Bowl with the Colts and an OC for the Ravens. Excuse me? I didn't know we label people for winning Super Bowls as coordinators. Adam, am I crazy to think Tennessee could be the second best team in the SEC East? Maybe 10 wins? Whoa.
I mean, not super crazy, but by the way, they had Kentucky as the third best team, which shocked me a little.
Yeah, well, Kentucky's a hell of a team.
Oh,
for
I know they
Fish.
are.
That's why. Yeah, I'm not gonna call you crazy, Jesse. I just think 10 is a bit much. I'd say 9-3. You're not far off though. I think they can win 9 games. All right, Adam, Jack, do you think Texas will get payback this year versus Oklahoma? Do you know if they'll play in Liberty Stillwater this year? Because that's a huge factor for home field advantage. I don't know. Texas is easily fielding the best running back in the country, Bijan Robinson. They have loads of talent. They've been struggling at camp with their offensive line, ton of injuries. And, of course, they're starting Quinn Ewers, I believe, at quarterback. So we'll see. Texas is going to be an interesting watch this year. Mailbag, who's your favorite Detroit rookie from any sport? So you got Ivey, Duran, Torque, Riley Green, Hutchinson, Jameson, Malcolm, Pascal. I'm going to go Hutch, man. Big fan of Hutch. I think he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, too. I'm all in on Hutch. I think he's a great pick. I'm going to say Hutchinson's for my pick. Hey, Adam, if Matt Patricia was on Hard Knocks, would you be more glued to your seat or Matt Patricia on a four-wheeler? Neither. I am so glad I wasn't doing sports talk when the Lions were ran by Matt Patricia, because I probably would have been canceled very early on for the things I would say about him and the Lions organization. So let's just be thankful I'm here now and not before. Adam, who should the Tigers hire? The hell if I know. They need more than just the hiring. Even when they hire the GM, they need to do a complete front office gut job. Their player development's pathetic. Their scouting department, meh. They got a lot of work to do. It's not just one person that'll fix it. All right, let's see what else they have here. Neither one are going to take you to the promised land. They both won as OC because their teams were good, not them. Caldwell and Matty P are the same, but they both have rings. And Nick, Caldwell was a better head coach than Patricia, but yeah, I get your point. I do. Let's see. Any questions in here? Do you think the Lions will be actually be good this year? Definition of good. I think they're going to be improved. That's the word I would use. I would say improved. I think 7 to 8 wins. But I will say, if the Lions go out and win 9-10 games this year, I'm not going to sit up on the desk and say, oh, I was surprised. Unbelievable. Phenomenal. Whoa. Like, that actually wouldn't surprise me. 1, the schedule. 2, they're kind of a pain in the ass to play against. They're going to be able to run the ball on you. You're going to limit the amount of times your quarterback gets to touch the football. And they're going to have one of the more efficient offenses in the NFL, in my opinion. They just will. Do you think Hard Knocks will have an effect on the team's success? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Would you trade for Roquan Smith if you were the Lions? I would, but they're not trading him, and it would cost way too much. It just would. I would love to have Roquan Smith. The team needs him, but not going to happen, so I'm not going to waste too much time on it. JJ will get us at least 10 wins. Agree? Yeah. Guys, you have 8 home games. You should only lose to Ohio State and maybe Iowa. You have 10 games in the bag this year. If you win less than 10 games, that's pathetic. That's pathetic. That's my opinion of Michigan this year. Jack asks, who is going to do the college football game day show for the fall? It's actually going to be me and Jeff. It's actually going to be me and Jeff. Me and Jeff are going to host the college game day Saturday mornings. It's going to be a really good time. How many Pro Bowlers will the Lions have this year? I think if you're lucky, you get 2. Realistically, maybe. I think 1 from the offensive line, probably Ragnow. Will Panay be it? Who knows? You have to include alternates and fill-ins, so we'll see. I don't know. I don't know how to put a number on that one. I'd say 2, but could be more, could be less. Michigan State's ceiling and floor from Honolulu Blue Sparty in the chat. I would say their floor would be 7 wins. I could see them losing 5 games, actually. But, let's move it up. I'd say 8 wins is their floor. Their ceiling would be 10, but God, that would take everything. You'd have to win out, basically, and lose to Ohio State and Michigan only. I don't see Michigan State as an 11-win team again this year. I don't see them going 10-2 in the regular season, and I don't see them beating Michigan State. Or, excuse me, Michigan. I think Michigan wins in the big house this year. Will we get Adam's bets again? Steve, I'm thinking about it. We may include that on Friday shows moving forward. Who knows once the season starts. Who you got winning the World Series? Dodgers. Got to be the Dodgers. Let's see. Our defense is so exploitable. This still hasn't changed. Shameful. If the pass rush is what I think it can be this year, your defense will improve significantly. So let's just leave it at that. That is it for us on the show today. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Appreciate it as always. Thank you for watching live. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube, you drop a like on the video. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you're watching on TikTok, of course, make sure you leave some likes before you head out, and make sure you follow Woodward Sports on TikTok. That's it for today. Terry returns tomorrow. We'll announce what the new show looks like on Friday. All that and more. Till then, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.